And now, By Mark presents Sunday Sports Extra.
The term championship week may typically be associated with men's basketball tournaments, but that's actually Act 2. The first act wrapped up tonight in Seattle at the Women's Pac-12 Tournament. Welcome to Sunday Sports Extra. I'm Mike Scow alongside Kristen Rogers.
And let's get this party started with the Oregon State women, who are back in the Pac-12 Tournament Championship for the second time in 3 years. The Beavers made it back to tonight's title game after struggling to finish off Washington last night.
OSU taking on UCLA for a chance to win the Beavers' first conference tourney in school history. Let's start in the first. Beavers down 4-2. Jamie Weissner kicks it out to Sydney Weiss, knocks it down. Oregon State takes the lead later in the first. Now it's time for the other half of the Splash Sisters. Weissner knocks down the tray. OSU extends their lead to 6, and they never really looked back. OSU up in the third. Jordan Canada drives, but Ruth Hamlin says no. The Canadian Hammer monster block. Here it is again. Canadian Hammer, now the conference's all-time leader in blocks, and her parents love it. So Oregon State does it. They win their first ever Pac-12 Tournament Championship game.
We now go live up to the Emerald City, Seattle, Washington, or it may now be known as the Black and Orange City.
Our Ben Creighton is live with more on the Beavers' historic victory. How's it going, Ben?
Yeah, Mike and Kristen, no doubt a gratifying moment for Scott Rueck and the Beavers, especially when you look at how far they've really come. Like in 2010 when Scott Rueck first took over the program and had to hold open tryouts, to last year's heartbreaking quarterfinal loss to Colorado. But you can definitely tell this year the Beavers were on a mission, and tonight they accomplished one of their biggest goals, a Pac-12 tournament title.
To be on that stage, knowing where we were just a few years ago, and to know the entire journey with this group, you know, it's hard not to be emotional thinking about it, and to see tears after this victory tonight is really the reason that I do what I do.
This team is known for handling adversity so well. This definitely, it feels good to have this hat on my head right now, knowing what I personally went through this season, but even more so with this team and this group, sharing it with them means so much to me.
Of course, the 69-57 victory over UCLA can be attributed to Oregon State's colossal, and I mean colossal, first half when the Beavers took the 44-17 lead to the locker room, including a 24-5 run in the second quarter, leading to Scott Rueck to say that that very well could have been the best first half Oregon State has ever played.
Limiting their possessions, or at least their scores, definitely helped us get into a rhythm because they couldn't set up into a press. And then we just stayed into a flow and we knocked down shots. It was a lot of fun to be a part of.
Fun's the biggest word you could describe that with. We were in a rhythm, and defensively we were taking away the looks that we wanted to take away, and I thought that our preparation really showed in that first half.
Offensively, we were just calm and making the right reads and seeing the open person no matter what they threw at us.
Now, guys, in the win, Ruth Hamlin notched her first 20-20 performance with 23 points and 20 rebounds. And, Mike, like you mentioned, she became the all-time leader in blocks in Pac-12 history. Now, after the game, she attributed her success to her teammates, but Sydney Weiss quickly interrupted and said the guards did a pretty good job of getting beat, and Ruth was there to clean it up. That's always the plan, apparently. So for one final time, live here in Seattle, Washington, with the 2016 Pac-12 Tournament champion Oregon State Beavers, Ben Creighton, Sunday Sports Extra.
Thanks, Ben. Just as the Oregon men were playing lights out against USC on Saturday, the lights literally went out in the Galen Center, delaying the game for 25 minutes. It didn't make much of a difference, though. The Ducks downed the Trojans and clinched the program's first Pac-12 regular season title since 2002. Oregon came into the game having already won a share of the title and led by LA native Tyler Dorsey's 19 points. The ninth-ranked Ducks overcame a sluggish start after the power outage and defeated SC 76-66. The 12th straight win for Oregon over the Trojans, completing the sweep of the LA schools, securing the top seed in this week's tournament, and winning the program's 5th regular title in history. So do you remember March 2nd, 2002? That was when the Ducks beat UCLA to clinch the regular season title. Let me refresh your memory what was going on then. Queen of the Damned, starting the late, great Aaliyah, was the top film at the box office. Always on Time by Ja Rule and Ashanti was the #1 song. A gallon of gas was just $1.35. In Oregon's end result that season, they lost to top-seeded Kansas in the Elite Eight as a 2-seed.
Speaking of back in the day, for the first time since 2003, Oregon State beat UCLA at Pauley Pavilion. the Beavers beat the Bruins 86-82 after a hectic final 2 minutes, enabling OSU to equal its most conference win since 1993. More importantly, the win gives the Beavers a very good shot at making the NCAA tournament with 6 wins over teams in the RPI Top 50 and a strong non-conference schedule, among other variables. And speaking of making the big dance, the Beavers will need a good showing during the Pac-12 tournament this week. Oregon State clinched the 6th seed and will face Arizona State in the first round at 8:30 Wednesday night, with the winner moving on to play Cal. The top-seeded Ducks have a bye and will play the winner of Stanford and Washington on Thursday at noon.
Hey, we're not forgetting about the little guys. The NAIA Division II men's tournament begins this week over in Missouri. CCC champs Northwest Christian drew a 3 seed and will face Southwestern University out of Kansas on Thursday morning. Southern Oregon drew an at-large bid and will take on Mount Mercy out of Iowa Wednesday morning, bright and early. As for the women's tournament in Sioux City, Iowa, top-seeded and one-loss Southern Oregon gets Clark University in the first round Thursday at 11:45 a.m. 7th-seeded Oregon Tech will face Jamestown out of North Dakota on Wednesday at 5:15.
A couple weeks ago, we showed you the story of the Rogue Valley Scorpions, the first professional-level wheelchair basketball team in Southern Oregon. Last night, fans around the community finally got their first chance to see the team in action. NCU coach and former Duck Luke Jackson threw the honorary jump ball. Scorpions were in control the whole game over the Sacramento Rolling Kings, cruising to a 102-88 win in front of a packed house at Central High School in Medford. The win gives Rogue Valley a 15-2 record and a 5th place ranking in the National Wheelchair Basketball Association. Now they hope to raise enough funds to travel to the national finals in Louisville.
Meanwhile, in the NBA, the Blazers continued their 6-game road trip today, this time to Motor City to take on the Pistons and looking to snap their 2-game losing skid. But with how Damian Lillard has been playing since the All-Star break, that shouldn't be too hard, right? Lillard has been on fire during his All-Star snub revenge tour, but Portland off to a rocky start, down 6. Lillard with the bad pass down low. Tobias Harris comes away with the steal, passes ahead to Reggie Jackson. He returns the favor, hitting Harris on the break. Harris gets the flush. Pistons up 18-10, second quarter now. CJ McCollum trying to get something going for Portland. He has a nice drive to the basket, finishes with the flush. He finished with 22 points today. Blazers never led, though, another tough loss as they fall to Detroit 123-103.
Coming up on Sunday Sports Extra, spring is in the air, meaning March Madness, baseball, softball, and soccer. Highlights of reigning MLS champ Portland's first game of the season coming up.
Plus, coming up, I scootered around Matt Knight Arena with Dylan Ennis. Yes, we even raced, and that is something you do not want to miss. It's coming up.
And now, Highmark presents Sunday Sports Extra.
When Matt Lubick and Vernon Adams take the field against TCU in the Alamo Bowl on January 2nd, they'll both be working for more than just a win. Welcome to Sunday Sports Extra. I am Kristen Rogers, joined tonight by Ben Creighton.
After Oregon offensive coordinator Scott Frost left for Central Florida, Mark Helfrich announced Matt Lubick would call the plays alongside him in the bowl game, and that it could be treated like a pre-interview for the permanent job.
Earlier today, we had our first chance to talk with Lubick since Frost left for Orlando, meaning it was our first chance to get his thoughts on potentially moving to offensive coordinator. Bottom line, Lubick says he wants whatever is best for the team and added if that means being the OC, then he will, quote, embrace it, attack it, and do the best he can.
I'm just happy to be here. You know, I feel extremely fortunate to be around incredible players and great coaches that have been here a long time and treat me like family. And so every day I count my blessings. I feel very, very fortunate. And, you know, whatever happens, happens. And at the end of the day, we're going to do what's best for Oregon football. And whatever that is, I'm going to charge 100 miles an hour and do the best I can.
For the majority of the seniors on the Oregon football team, going to a bowl game is nothing new. In fact, most of them have already played in the Alamo Bowl. But for Vernon Adams, January 2nd will be his first and last bowl game ever. After spending 4 years at the FCS level in their playoff system, Vernon Adams says he's excited for his first bowl game and more importantly knows that it will likely be an audition for the pros.
I feel like it is. You know, I try not to look at it like that, but deep down, I think it is. You know, if our team plays well and I do pretty good in this game and hopefully the East-West Shrine game, then, you know, hopefully I get an invite to the Combine or something in Pro Day. So I'm pretty excited. You know, I've never got this experience before, so I'm excited and we're out here working hard.
After beginning the first half of the season with just 2 wins along with 4 losses, most thought the Seahawks were done for. But there's always just something about the months of November and December for this team, as Seattle came into today having won 5 of the last 6 games and holding a position for a wild card spot. Russell Wilson and the Hawks, winners of 3 straight, visiting the struggling Ravens. No score, middle of the first in the red zone. Wilson firing to a wide open Tyler Lockett in the end zone right there, 8-yard touchdown. Seattle led 14-6 at the break. To the third we go. Wilson with a ton of time in the pocket. Over the middle, finding Doug Baldwin for a 22-yard touchdown strike. Seahawks just flying high today. In the fourth, it keeps going. Russell airs it out, hits Lockett in stride, 49-yard touchdown pass this time down the sideline. Wilson finished with 5 touchdowns on the day as Seattle manhandles the Ravens 35-6. But not all good news today. Rookie running back Thomas Rawls is out for the year after suffering a fractured ankle. But the Hawks get their 4th straight win.
Back-to-back trips, can be a challenge. Our guys just did not waver at all in that. They're ready to play, and we saw it across the board. So I'm really fired up that we handled that. Being on the road is going to be real important, obviously, and we want to make sure that we give ourselves every chance to be at our best. And I thought we did that today.
I think we're definitely playing more confident at a better level. I don't know if my confidence has changed. I think ultimately we're just playing better, we're executing better, and that's what it really comes down to. So that's the key. We got to keep it going. It's one game, so we have to move on to next week.
In Cleveland, Johnny Manziel getting the start today after some off-field troubles hosting San Francisco. First quarter, no score. Isaiah Crowell goes off the left side, cuts loose. There he goes. Niners finally bring him down 50 yards later, and that run would set up this. Crowell caps it off with a 1-yard touchdown run, and the Browns take the early lead 7-0. Before the half, Niners down 10-3, looking for a momentum shift. Manziel out of the pocket, moves left, tries to throw over the middle, but he is picked off by Jaquiski Tart. Niners can't capitalize, though, on that. Manziel would throw for a TD today in the second half, and the Niners just flat out did not show up. They fall to the Browns 24-10.
Marcus Mariota's Titans taking on Coach Todd Bowles and the New York Jets. Tennessee down 10-0 early on. Marcus Mariota going for the screen pass, overthrows Dexter McCluster, though it's picked off by Buster Skrine. He returns this down to the 35-yard line. Not good for Marcus. In the third, Tennessee now down 27-0. They're going for some trickery. Mariota lines up out wide, as you see there. Antonio Andrews takes the snap, throws deep. Marcus wide open, makes the catch, takes it in for the 41-yard touchdown. That would be the only highlight of the day, though, for the Titans. They get crushed by the Jets 32-8. Chip Kelly's Eagles hosting Buffalo, and former Philly running back LaShawn McCoy head to the second. Oh, I guess to give a little love to center field. Head to the second quarter now. Game tied at 7. Sam Bradford steps up, takes a shot downfield to former USC Trojan Nelson Aguilar. Calls it in for the 53-yard touchdown to take the lead. Eagles led 17-10 at the half. Let's head to the fourth now. Philly up 3, less than 90 seconds to play. Tyrod Taylor goes deep. Another USC Trojan, Robert Woods this time, but Ed Reynolds picks it off to seal the deal. Philadelphia survives the Bills 23-20. Chip Kelly and crew still in the hunt for a playoff spot.
Panthers and Cam Newton looking to continue perfection, but no Cam highlights here because we got some ducks in this one. In the first, Jonathan Stewart, Superman's da-da-da-da-da-da-da, into the end zone, 7-0 Carolina early. But Chrissy, you know what's better than one former Duck TD?
What?
Another one. Why not? Ed Dixon makes the diving grab in the end zone, 28-zip Panthers, 13-0 for Carolina. They cruise to the shutout win over the Falcons.
Broncos Raiders in the Mile High City. Peyton Manning missing his 4th straight start, looking on in the third. Brock Osweiler has the ball stripped. Denver falls on it for a safety, 12-9. In the fourth, Oakland rallying back now. Derek Carr, lots of time. To the end zone finds Michael Rivera. The 16-yard pass. Raiders take the lead 15-12. Oakland pulls off the W on the road. Third loss of the years for the Broncos.
Let me tell you all a story Blazer fans have heard way too many times this season. Portland heads into the fourth quarter with a double-digit lead, only to see it slip away along with the game. And in case you were wondering, it happened again last night for Rip City. The Blazers lost to the Knicks 112-110 last night after blowing a 10-point lead in the final quarter. It was the 9th game this season Portland has lost after leading in the fourth quarter. Defense, I should say, has been an issue with the young team all year, and last night was no better as they gave up 36 points to New York in the fourth quarter.
We didn't defend the way you need to defend in the fourth quarter to win a close game. Start of the fourth quarter with a 10-point lead, and they came out and scored made their run then, and then it was a game.
You know, it doesn't take a talented team to defend. You know, you can throw 5 guys out there that play hard and that care to get it done. And I don't think it was us not caring. I just think, you know, we just weren't on top of things like we needed to be to win the game.
The Blazers return to action tomorrow night when they host New Orleans.
And now, By Mark presents Sunday Sports Extra.
Welcome to Sunday Sports Extra. I'm Eric Elkin alongside Steven Nelson. Spring football not too far away. We sit down with the Ducks' new defensive coordinator, Don Pelham, a bit later on. But first, Civil War basketball and the Beavers trying to do something they haven't done much of over the last 2 decades.
A win this afternoon would give them their first Civil War sweep since 2010 and just their third since 1990. That's a long time.
The 341st Civil War. Both the Ducks and Beavers looking to snap 2-game losing skids after being swept in Arizona last weekend. Ducks talked about sharing the ball this time around. Just 6 assists all game last month in Corvallis. Waverly Austin, Damian Dotson puts the Ducks up 3. Then Oregon went on a shooting barrage from 3, and it started with the defense. Mike Mosier, struggling most of Pac-12 play, got it going earlier on, puts the Ducks ahead 16-10. Then Mosier again, 19-10 Oregon. Then it's Joseph Young from the wing, 22-10. All these coming off a pass. Jonathan Lloyd getting in on the action, 25-10. Jason Kaliste's turn, wide open, 28-10. Kaliste from the other side, it's a 17-0 run. Ducks go up 19, started 7 for 7 from 3, 31-12 Ducks, blowing the Beavers out. But OSU cuts the gap before halftime. Langston Morris Walker buries the 3, makes it just a 12-point game with 6 minutes left in the half. Then Roberto Nelson, all alone off an attempted tap out by Ben Carter. Duck lead down to 7, part of a 17-4 Beaver run. But the Ducks respond with what else? The 3-ball. Young again from the wing. Oregon back up 11. Final minute of the half. Shot clock winding down. Kaliste at the buzzer. He hits. Ducks lighting it up in the first half. Ducks carry a 10-point lead into the locker room, 45-35. Beavers shot the ball well, but Oregon got 27 points from downtown on 9 of 14 shooting. The Ducks also with 12 assists on 17 field goals and a 15-5 edge in points off turnovers.
So the Beavers hoping the Ducks cooled off a bit during the break. Second half, Beavs still down 10. Devon Collier met at the rim by Elgin Cook. Somehow gets it to go as he's fallen down and one. Beavers trail 56-49. Couple minutes later, Duck lead down to 4. Damian Dotson to his left to the rack. 2 + 1 equals a lead back to 7. Less than 10 minutes to go. Big series here. Ducks still up 7. Moser fires a 3 in transition. Off the mark. Angus Brandt with the Andrew Moore fastball. The Malcolm Duvivier. Oh, Canada rising up with 2 hands. Ducks lead down to 5. Next OSU possession. Brandt scoops up the loose ball. Scores and 1. Now it's a 2-point game. Under 8 to play. After 11 first half points, Young still hadn't scored in the second. Maybe this gets them going. Bucket in the foul. Ducks have some breathing room. 6 minutes left. Ducks lose Roberto Nelson off the inbounds. That's not a good thing. It's a 3-point game, 69-66. Next possession. It's Young who answers again. Another tough finish. Another and 1. Beavs cut the deficit to 2, 72-70, but after every OSU run, the Ducks got a 3 or an and 1. Like that 3 from Jason Kaliste, 79-70, Oregon on top. Beavers not folding. Hallis Cook from deep, he knocks it down. Back to a 6-point game, but OSU couldn't get any closer. Less than a minute to go. Ducks up 10. Young, the exclamation mark, 2 of his game-high 25 points. Ducks avoid the Civil War sweep, win it 93-83, and prove to 4-8 in the Pac-12.
This was an important game for us. Kind of get back on track. We've been so close. Had a lot of 2-point losses, so it's just important for us to bounce back and start this little runoff we're gonna go on.
It kind of gets contagious, I feel like, with our team. Jason hit a couple, Joey hit a couple, I hit a couple. For a while there, I think we were 100%. You just didn't want to be that guy that missed.
This team, they live on threes, and our whole game plan was to stop them shooting threes. And they shot about 30 of them in the beginning of the game.
Dug ourselves a hole by coming out sluggish, and we got to a 19-point lead, and then we climbed our way back, but by that time it's already too late.
So you heard Jonathan Lloyd mention the Ducks starting a run. They need to do that to help out the tournament resume. Oregon's 4-8 conference record is troubling, but the Ducks still with a top 50 RPI and a good strength of schedule. Ducks just 1-6 though against top 50 RPI teams, but they have 3 more shots to make that better at UCLA and then the 2 final home games against the Arizona schools, all 3 of those teams in the top 50. After the win tonight, Dana Altman was asked if he thought this was an NCAA tournament team right now.
Right now, we're not. You know, right now, we're not. But we can change that. We can change that. We're going to have plenty of opportunities. If you look at our schedule, you know, we got plenty of opportunities against people who they say are. So we're going to have our opportunities.
Here's a look at the Pac-12. Oh, one other game in the Pac-12, I should say, today. Colorado beating USC 83-74, the final score. So now, let's look at the Pac-12 standings. Some separation being made between the top and bottom halves, but the Ducks and Beavers still near the bottom. Oregon within a game of Oregon State with the win this afternoon. The Beaver women looking for their 5th straight win, hosting USC. Second half, OSU down 33-29. Sydney Weiss pulls the trigger from 3, giving her Oregon State's single-season record for most threes made in a season was 78. She had 5 in this game. Same score a few minutes later. Weiss again from deep, a game-high 17 points for her. Beavers' first lead of the game, 35-33. Later in the half, Beavers now up 7. Allie Gibson, she made that look a lot easier than it really is. OSU wins its 5th straight, 58-48. Stays unbeaten at Gill Coliseum in Pac-12 play. Beavers now tied for 3rd in conference. Beavers in a 3-way tie for 3rd in the Pac-12, as I just said, along with Arizona State and USC. The Ducks have a chance to tie UCLA with 5 conference wins when they host the Bruins tomorrow.
We've reached that time of year where the sports start to transition back outside the home stretch of basketball season, now crossing over with the start of baseball and softball. The Ducks in Hawaii, freshman Matt Crook making his collegiate debut, didn't get help early. An error helped UH get a runner on, then Trevor Podratz grounds to short, brings home Marcus Doy. Ducks down 1-0. It's 2-1 UH in the 4th. Mitchell Tolman smacks a leadoff triple into left center field. Oregon in business. Kyle Garlick then follows with an RBI ground out. Tolman scores, tied the game up at 2. Crook left the game with the lead, tossed 7 innings, allowing 2 unearned runs, struck out 8. But the Duck bullpen blew it in the 8th. Ducks then scored twice in the 9th to tie and once in the 10th to win. Oregon 3-0 on the year, and George Horton now 1 win away from 900 career wins. He can get it tomorrow afternoon when the Ducks go for the sweep of Hawaii.
And then you could tweet about it because he's on Twitter now. The Beaver baseball team wins again, 3-0 to start the year after a 14-6 rout of Pacific. Michael Conforto is on fire, 3 for 3 today with 5 RBI. In softball today, the 10th-ranked Ducks blasted 4 home runs on their way to a 12-1 win in 5 innings over Cal State Northridge. Oregon State fell to McNeese State 4-3 down in Texas.